Let's talk about disruptive innovation and what exactly it means in strategic business. We're talking about a product or service coming into the market space and disrupting already existing products in that space. Disruptive innovation is the introduction of either a product or a service into an established industry that performs better and generally at a lower cost than the existing offerings. What happens as a result of this? There is going to be a displacement of those already existing products and services, a displacement of the so-called market leaders in that niche. People, for example, deciding to use a smartphone instead of a regular camera is an example of disruption in the market space. The smartphone has been a problem to many industries because it has displaced those already existing leaders. Another example of what the smartphone has done is it has replaced, believe it or not, traditional CDs, in that you can keep all of your phone information along with all of your music information and along with all of your business information. So that takes out the need for CDs. Someone who might have bought a laptop might decide not to anymore. And someone who might have decided to get a Kodak camera, for example, might decide no, because in your smartphone, your contacts, your music, and your business can all be in the same place, because technological advancements have enabled cell phones to be equipped with small processors and software that fulfill all of these needs: personal, music, business, entertainment. As a result of the smartphone, people no longer buy hand cams because a smartphone does everything. You get the idea. Let's talk about disruptions in the space of sales in traditional stores and how that was disrupted by the likes of Amazon. So think about the likes of bookstores, Borders Books, the likes of Toys R Us, and many other traditional brick and mortar stores. They are no longer anywhere to be found because they have been replaced. They have been displaced. And that is exactly what technological displacement does. Amazon now fulfills not only books, not only toys, but all of those hardware parts and software parts that people would go into stores to buy. How about music stores? The cost of a musical instrument on Amazon is so ridiculously low that it doesn't make sense to go into a brick and mortar store in your local neighborhood to buy it at 3 or 4 times that amount. Amazon has a lot of products from China that are readily available to the market that were not in the market previously. So when you talk about disruptive innovation, we're talking about either a product or a service and what ensues as a result of that. Another example is DVDs in the mail versus a VHS video store. Sounds familiar? Netflix, the beginnings versus Blockbuster. What about the concept of rideshare versus a taxi? You well know that ride sharing is, of course, a lot cheaper. What about cell phones disrupting the space of fixed line telephone? Now, while they still exist, their dominance has greatly reduced in the market space. What about solar power versus traditional electricity generation. These are just a few examples of how disruptive technologies introduce a different array of attributes. And disruptive technology causes you to look differently at the disruptees. The disruptors, these ones, open up new market. They're quicker. A lot of times it's to do with the speed, the availability, the quality, and maybe even the cost per unit. And it boils down to the nitty-gritty. So opens new markets, always a cost factor or an advantage factor. At some point, the disruptive technology performance feature may advance way past the performance demanded by mainstream customers. And that is a pull. And that is the disruption. It becomes hard for the disruptee to keep up. They're unable to sustain that market position. And that concludes our review of strategic management and disruptive innovation. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share with your friends. See you in the next video.